I was with a restaurant group based in Dallas, and I'd been promoted to their director of marketing position. I was overseeing 9 brands, 15 locations. I'd been with them through the opening of 7 of those locations, and I loved working there. We worked with some really, really awesome brands. I had a team of 5 excellent marketers. And then in October of 2024, midway through the month, they restructured their marketing team and they laid me off.
My name is Austin Tucker, and I'm on a mission to find the best come-up stories in the world. Everyone talks about success, but no one talks about the in-between. The mess, the risk, the doubt. I'm here for the people who made it anyway and are willing to tell their stories, honest, unpolished, and real. These are the Breakout Bunch.
All right, we are here with Jessica Kruebbe, restaurant marketeer. I guess that's probably the best thing for you.
Yes, sir. Expert in hospitality marketing. I'm a mini CMO, is how I have branded myself, for small and mid-sized hospitality brands, most specifically restaurants.
That's awesome. Why a mini CMO? Why not CMO?
Because my target client is a small to medium-sized business.
Okay.
And so they need like some really one-on-one attention and support for where they're at in their growth process, which is obviously really early in the early stages. And so they need someone with the business and marketing acumen of a CMO, but maybe the accessibility, the price point, and the hands-on one-on-one attention of someone on a mini scale.
So they just can't afford their own. Like these are mainly like startups?
Yeah, exactly. So most of my clients are under 20 locations of restaurants. I work with clients with even 2 locations.
Yeah.
And even work with a brand that's actually lighting and sound rental company that's just like another solopreneur, so I help him. And so they're these smaller brands that really need kind of that one-on-one leadership and guidance that maybe they would otherwise hire, if they were to hire someone full-time, would need to hire someone out of college or just few years of experience that maybe isn't going to get them that that acumen that they need to really bring their brand and their business to the next level. So I kind of bring them that expertise with my background without, them needing to lead someone full time.
So what is your background? Like where did it all start? Because I don't remember you wanting to go start a business back in the day.
Yeah.
So like we went to high school together, you graduate, what happened?
Yeah, well, funny enough, when we were back in high school, that's when I had my first restaurant job, which was a team member at Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Which was so fun, and I loved working in restaurants. I loved making people's day. I loved eating chicken nuggets all the time, and
you're just like a bubbly person. Like you bring an energy with you that's just like incredible.
Thank you. That love for hospitality and taking care of people is what gets me really excited. And so I'd started there in high school and then had some internships throughout college. I went to SMU. I studied corporate communications and public affairs. I graduated in 2019, and while I was there, I interned with some really fantastic restaurants in Dallas and entertainment venues.
So you moved to Texas?
I did, yes. So I moved to SMU like about halfway through my college career. I transferred there, and I interned with influencer marketing agencies. I interned with some fantastic restaurant and entertainment venues like the Rustic, which is like American Southern comfort with a big backyard with live music. And then I had an internship with a food hall and entertainment venue called Legacy Hall in Plano. And that building had 20 eateries and bars wrapped around it, as well as a large outdoor entertainment venue.
No way.
And so I got this massive exposure to working with a bunch of different types of restaurants, from a French creperie to an Asian restaurant to Mediterranean kebabs and everything in between. And so I got exposed to working and supporting all different kinds of businesses there, as well as a brewery, and then also dipping my toe in entertainment. And so from there, I just fell in love with it. I was a little unpaid intern, just running around.
Was Texas an easier market to get into? Like, why'd you go to Texas? Was it to go to SMU, or was it like the environment you can get around for what you wanted to do?
Great question. I went to Texas for SMU, and I have extended family there, and I just kind of felt like home away from home and Southern hospitality, and I just loved it. I love Dallas.
What was it like moving somewhere where you only knew your extended family? Because that's tough. I've done it.
It is tough.
Like for the week.
Sure. Well, you get what you put into it, right? Just like anything good in life. And the more vulnerable you are putting yourself out there, and the more you just bring to the table at work and in your friend groups and at church and everywhere you kind of really show up as your whole self, the easier it is to kind of make friends.
Yeah.
So at SMU, I really dove in. I was the president of the transfer student community. I was in a student ministry called Kruebbe. I dipped my toe in the sorority thing.
Wasn't for you?
Not my jam whatsoever. But I'm glad I tried it, because then you kind of learn where your people are, where they're not.
Right.
And so, yeah, you just kind of put yourself out there, and you know, community falls into place.
So that was like a really big, good move for you. Like,
Yeah.
you don't think you'd be in the same position if you stayed here?
Correct. And funny enough, I just moved to Nashville in January as well.
Yeah.
So I did it all over again and put myself out there. And even throwback to high school, you know, we met because I transferred from one high school to another
Yeah.
sophomore year. And so these big leaps that just shake up your whole world will just kind of refresh your perspective on everything and introduce you to people you otherwise wouldn't know. And they challenge you. I mean, it forces you to change your space and change how you show up every day. And that constant challenge that I'm putting myself through is helping me just kind of level up as a human being.
Which is like same thing with starting a business. Like, people get really scared about leaving that like comfy job that might pay the bills plus some or whatever, but like getting out there and doing something uncomfortable will make you grow
100%.
like exponentially.
100%.
So you're in Dallas, you go to your food court area
Yeah.
type thing. When do you start thinking like, maybe I can do this on my own?
So funny enough, I didn't choose to do this.
Oh.
And so I was with a restaurant group based in Dallas, and I'd been promoted to their director of marketing position. I was overseeing 9 brands, 15 locations. I'd been with them through the opening of 7 of those locations, and I loved working there. We worked with some really, really awesome brands. I had a team of 5 excellent marketers. And then in October of 2024, midway through the month, they restructured their marketing team and they laid me off.
No way.
But two weeks before that, my now first client reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to do some marketing on the side? They're actually a location inside Legacy Hall where I'd first had that job there. And he said, I remembered your work from our time way back then. You know, my current marketing support isn't cutting it. Would you like to do a little bit on the side for me? And in 2 weeks, I accepted. And then 2 weeks later, it wasn't my side gig. It was my main gig. And then here I was, like, just out in the middle of, you know, no man's land, like figuring out what I was going to do. But it was a huge blessing. And it's really a part of my testimony also as a Christian that God has just shown up in my professional walk in ways that I wouldn't even think to pray for or anticipate or look for. And so I, frankly, did not have the bravery to just screw my corporate job and quit it and leave everything. It just kind of fell into place for me. And very quickly after that, it gave me the freedom to move to Nashville because I no longer was tied to an office.
Right.
And then that client also has a different concept, a barbecue concept that they brought me on to do some support with. And then, you know, it's just sort of snowballed. And now I am making more money and working way less hours than I ever have before. And it worked out.
So this is like a blessing that
100%,
you never would have expected.
100%. That, yeah. I wish I could tell you this big, brave story of me, like, just quitting and, you know, going out of my corporate office, but it just sort of happened. And it's interesting as an entrepreneur, and even as someone that has always been a little bit of a go-getter, sometimes we think, oh, I couldn't go out on my own because then I need to be perfect at everything, and I need to be like this business tycoon and have everything figured out before I go out on my own.
No, you gotta figure it out.
But you figure it out by figuring it out.
You just say yes, and then you just go do it.
And it's sort of like when you have no option but to sink or swim, that you become an excellent swimmer. And yeah.
So why didn't you go look for another job? Was it just because you had one client lined up and you're like, I can do this? Because like you could have just stayed the safe route and got laid off and be like, I just need to go find something else, just like most people would. Mm-hmm. But like you did take that big leap of faith and like believed in yourself and did it.
That's a great question. I would say my last job, I ended up with quite a bit of fatigue and was in like kind of a tough spot when I ended that journey. And so the period, what I thought was a period of rest and just letting myself kind of relax after that role and focus on my move, just ended up to be so life-giving. Like I just found myself loving helping this small business level up and watching how, you know, I was able to bring them things that they'd never seen before in marketing. And it was so fun watching them grow. It just like got me so excited. I was like, I want to keep doing this. And it so organically has grown on its own that I never really had a reason to go back. And I get to work in my sweatpants from my apartment. And so it's almost like, why would you go digging for something where you have to, you know, show up to the office every day and commute and do all that? You don't have to.
So how many clients do you have now?
I have 4 now.
Okay.
I have 4 now. I work with a seafood concept called Doc Local that has 4 locations, 3 in Dallas, 1 in Nashville. I work with a barbecue concept called Brisket Rules. They just opened their 2nd location, both in Dallas. And then I recently started working with Hawkers. It's an Asian street food brand. We started working with them in May of this year. And they have quite a few locations. You probably haven't heard of it. They're more kind of central U.S. to the east, and we're in California here. And then, like I said, one of my good friends has a lighting and sound rental company, and he's not traditional, obviously, restaurant client that it's not really my bread and butter all the way, but working in hospitality and working with some major music venues, it's just kind of a natural fit as well.
So what do you do for them? Like, what is your job?
By being a mini CMO and branding myself as such, I act as a Swiss Army knife for my clients. So what I do for one client is completely different from another one. It's really what their business needs to grow. And, one skill set of just being a paid ad specialist or just being a brand strategist or just being whatever is not going to cut it anymore for these brands that are working in a really competitive space. Right. Restaurants are so competitive. So for, one of my clients, I do mostly digital for them, and I run all of their Google search ads, their meta ads, influencer strategy. I run their social media, and it's really heavy on the digital. But for another client that already has a corporate office and has a digital team, what I bring is like a hyper local knowledge of the DFW market that they don't have in their corporate office.
Gotcha.
So I know the influencers personally. I know the social groups that we want to bring in for events. I know what people in the DFW area are looking for and can drive that traffic when they just don't maybe have that expertise because they're based in another city. So it's very different per client. But then even my friend that I do, he does lighting and sound rental. I helped him build out his website and build out his brand book, and I'm going to help him set up Google business profile, what have you. So it's really unique to what the business needs, and I think agencies that just do one thing, bread and butter, are, harder to keep and maintain the value, because what a business needs, especially restaurants, is just, it's fluid and it changes with how the market's changing and what their budget looks like. And so being their Swiss Army knife, their mini CMO, has really been a sweet spot for me in my career.
So obviously, there's places you can go with just digital marketing, they all do one thing, which is kind of where you shine. But where's the price difference? Are you paying a lot less for someone who just does marketing, or what's
Great
kind
question.
of the price points?
I price myself on a few different things. Really, my time is obviously a major impact on the price. It's really hard to price yourself. When I started figuring out what that looked like, I consulted a lot of other solopreneurs and looked back at what I paid agencies before. So it's kind of this equation where you're kind of valuing what people more experienced than me are charging, less experienced than me, more specialized, less specialized. Here's what I think my time is valued at, and you kind of put it together into a little bit, frankly, when I started, it was a little bit of a Frankenstein package of here's my best guess at what I am worth to you right now on my own. And you kind of learn from there. So there are definitely some things that I have taken my time to do and go, oh my gosh, this takes way more time than I think it needs to. Yeah. Or, oh, this takes me no time. You
learn almost your self-worth. You almost put an hourly rate on yourself.
Kind of, yeah. And then you learn, being on your own for the first time, you learn as you go, figuring out how much value or how much time it takes you. And then there are some things where maybe it takes you a long time, but if it's of less value to my clients, I want to adjust the price accordingly. Maybe it takes me a long time, but I know it's not fair or it's not as logical to charge than that, and so maybe I'll lower it to make it accessible to them, or vice versa. If I maybe know behind closed doors that this takes me not a long time, but they have no idea how to do it and it's of great value to them, then you can kind of move on the spectrum of pricing and figure out where that sweet spot is to value yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's how you're going to keep your clients. It's you're not just this is my price. I don't care if I'm doing a little bit or a lot of it. That doesn't work. Because then people feel like they're getting taken advantage of. Yeah,
exactly. And you have to just constantly be bringing value. And you understand that probably just leading a podcast, how you have to just be constantly pushing forth new and fresh value. And it's, sometimes that's not a hard and fast number every month.
Yeah, the podcast has been interesting. It's hard to figure out where this all works, but
sure.
like in the mortgage sales space, like that's all I have to do is I have to make sure I'm providing value and giving an easy solution for them to, whatever, acquire their goals, whether that's purchasing a home or refinancing, whatever it is. And like same thing, not everyone's the same. I like never had the same type of transaction once.
Sure.
Or twice. That's what I meant.
So do you spend a lot of time on the front end trying to figure out exactly what your client needs and what they're looking for?
Yeah.
How much time do you spend on that front end versus executing side?
They're so different.
Okay.
Like there's times where I can talk to a client once and like that's all I need to do. And there's other times where I have to talk to you like 3 times a week for a month. And like it's 5 times a day and like you're trying to figure things out and get this, get that. So that's where we have a hard time doing our hourly rate because it's like the easy ones are usually the hardest and the hardest ones sometimes turn to the easiest ones.
Okay.
And you kind of lock yourself in from the beginning. So like you kind of just have to eat it if things start going south.
Yeah.
So it is what it is, but it's a fun job. I love sales. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
And figuring out their problems. Same way you kind of like figure out restaurants' problems. You help them grow, and I help people figure out the biggest transaction they'll ever make in their life, or their next 3 or 4, whatever.
Yeah, it's so meaningful.
It is. And it's fun, especially with like with business owners, because like they usually start with like one home, then they go buy more to like invest their assets, and you watch them become like this like real estate tycoon.
Have you read the book Unreasonable Hospitality?
No.
You have to read it.
Okay.
It was written by, his name escapes me because I'm on the spot, and I love him, so I'm trying to remember his name. It was written by the old GM of one of the most famous restaurants in New York.
Okay.
Madison Square Park.
Oh, yeah.
And he just talks about how every interaction you have with another person is an opportunity to treat them with excellent hospitality. And those touch points that you have with your clients, you can make every moment memorable, and it kind of makes you...
We were just talking about that because like the marketing team has been doing things like if you fly in or come from somewhere else and you're coming into our office, they'll put like welcome Jessica, which I should have done. But
yeah, where was my welcome note?
It's just like little touches like that. It's like, oh wow, like I was anticipated, and like they spent 2 minutes to put together something, but like you remember that forever.
Yeah. That's funny. I just went to my first ever Orange Theory class. Absolutely whooped my butt. But they had a Welcome Jessica sign on the counter when I walked in.
Doesn't it make you feel so
that
special?
That small moment, I'm just never going to forget that because I just went from, being an attendee in a class to they're excited and anticipating my existence in this workout class. It makes it like night and day, totally different experience.
The little things help a lot. Like even after every like loan I close, I send them a gift of some sort, like a blanket that has their initials on it, or
awesome.
A cutting board or something. And like I've gone to clients' houses and like they'll have that cutting board in their kitchen for like 5 years.
That's so
and it's
cool.
like things that like they'll always remember you based off like a $50 gift or 20, whatever it is. Yeah. It's great.
That's fantastic.
So you've made your journey seem very simple. What were the struggles? It's not easy. Like you don't just like pick up and just like everything's all dandy. Like I got my systems down. Like I'm sure you had to build out things and like there's struggles within it.
At first, one of the first struggles is trying to figure out your value, like we talked about, trying to figure out what value do I bring to the market and how can I charge for these things. I would say now I'm learning how to set boundaries with clients, and when they, you will get asked to do things outside of your scope of work. You kind of set this rough scope of work at the beginning, and they'll inevitably need things from you out of that scope, and you have to figure out how are you going to either set the boundary and say that's not my bread and butter, or I can't do that, or let me help you find someone that can do that, or if you do need to, you can execute it, and you need to figure out how to value those additional skills.
That's a fun time when you're growing though, because that means you're successful. Like now you're not like so desperate. Yeah. Because you're like, I need to appease them because if I lose a client, like I'm out of business. It's like, oh, I have the ability to like say no. Yeah. Or like, look, I'll do it, but it's gonna be $500.
And I'll be honest and I'll be vulnerable. There are some things where my clients will ask me to do it, and I think, I haven't done that before, but I could figure it out. Yeah. And so you commit to it, and then you're doing it, and you're like, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be, or I'm actually not so good at this. And then you either have to, reach out and get someone else's help and outsource the work to make it of great value to your clients when you bring it back to them, or just hunker down and really, eat the extra hours you need to spend to figure it out. So
But
there's a
you
lot of
also
that.
can't look at those like a bad thing, because like you're either
Correct.
learning how to do it for the next
Correct.
time, or you're learning how much you can't do it, and you either need to outsource it and or just be like, I can't.
Yeah.
So like that's helping you grow in your business in a way that's like like bad things are usually good. I feel like that happens all the time.
Learning curves, yeah.
People get frustrated, but it's like now you know more.
And you learn what you enjoy doing more as well. So I'll be honest, I hate social media. I hate managing a social media account myself.
I hate it too.
And I know that sounds goofy. I'm, Miss Mini CMO, and marketing's my bread and butter, but social media management, and I'm sure you guys understand this from editing all your clips and putting things together, it takes forever. And it's very difficult to track. I'm a very data-driven marketer, and I love to be able to bring to my clients, this is what you invested in me, and this is what you got back. And you just, social media, with organic posting in particular, not really paid ads or influencers, but with organic posting in particular, it is just a time sucker, and it's very difficult to track. And so it's my least favorite one. So I've now learned as a solopreneur that if I provide that to some of my clients, I learned about myself. How do I need to keep myself accountable to make sure that gets done, even though I don't want to do it? Or I bring in like interns and outside support that love doing it and are crazy about doing TikTok, and they can help elevate my clients, and I can help incentivize and get them what they need to be successful as well.
Which I feel like at some point, like that's where you're going to go. You're going to have like these big packages that are like, if you want X, Y, or Z, I have departments for everything, and you can like build your own box. Which that'd be fun. Like, do you have anyone working for you right now, or is it just you?
I have an intern. I have an awesome intern.
That's such a cool feeling, is it not?
I
like,
love
I have
having
an
an
employee.
And she's awesome. She's very smart, very sharp. And I really strategically hired someone as a social media intern to fill the gap in my interest and my excitement about it. And someone that had, proven stats that she's worked with, other brands or other projects she's worked on in college that were proven. And so it's been really awesome to like mentor her, and then also give her hands-on experience on client work that she otherwise would not get as an intern for a large company that would maybe otherwise be sending her out to get coffee for her internship. She's getting hands-on experience, and that's a blessing to me to be able to give her that
Well,
hands-on
you need
support.
to offer social media. Like, everyone needs social media.
Yeah.
I hate doing it myself. Even when I start getting in like a little groove, I would start forgetting to post that day, and I'm like, oh, I only posted once this week.
Yeah.
So I just started paying people.
What have you learned managing your social media?
That I'm bad at it. I don't know how to do captions and like all these things.
Okay.
My timing, like my day job is way too busy for me to like actually be like regimented in my social media stuff. Which, like, I guess I could go, like, the scheduled posting route, but, like, to me it's boring. I don't really care enough. I'd rather just have somebody post for me. They know the timing. They know how to read the data.
Sure.
Like, it's a whole skill set. It's not something that's just, like, you just pick up and go with it. But you need it. It's like you can't grow anything these days without social media. And also finding what platform works best for you.
Sure.
Like, it's so much. It's knowledge I don't have.
Yeah, you have to be where people's attentions are.
Yeah.
And it's all social media.
And there's so much data to go through to like really do it effectively. Like there's times of the day that hit more. And like with that, you also need to know like, okay, what regions are watching your stuff the most?
Sure.
Is it East Coast? Okay, now you need to look at their time zone and do it on their time. Like it's too much.
It's tough. I use a tool called later.com.
Okay.
Have you heard of it? It's
No.
a very popular social scheduling tool. And it will provide a little bit of a heat map based on when your followers are online and make a recommendation on the best time to post. So that's a tool that you might be able to use.
Maybe I will. I'll tell
Not
Piper.
a sponsored recommendation, just a real one. Yeah.
So, okay, so where you're at now, you're in like a comfy place. How long you been doing this?
October of 2024, so about
So
a year.
1 year.
This is my anniversary podcast.
Happy anniversary. 1 year in, you already made a podcast.
Yay,
You get some free
my first
marketing out of
podcast.
this.
I know, it's so exciting.
This is great. You've done a lot in a year. So what are your plans? What's your goals?
There's almost this pressure to try to expand my business really fast and like acquire a lot of new clients and hire people and get an office and like, I think the default might be to try to go that traditional route of trying to build this like brick and mortar business. But my life is so awesome for like solopreneuring and freelancing that I would really like to think before I bring on more people to my team, what I want their lives to look like if they were to work for me and the flexibility I want to give them. And so I am enjoying right now it mostly being me full time and giving the clients I do have like all my attention.
Yeah.
I would like to have an arsenal of outside solopreneurs that are really also good at the things I'm not great at that can help support my business and sort of white label their services as Jessica Kruebbe Marketing and Strategies, branding and design arm that is actually, someone else that does it. So I think I'll look a little bit like this octopus where I'll have creatives that I trust and have fantastic results that can help support me to then grow my business more.
It's like you'd almost turn into like an agency.
Kind of, yeah.
It's like you would be like the brand, and then you'd have people underneath you that have a trusted brand to work under.
Mm-hmm. In a non-traditional way where they're not my full-time in-house come to the office employees, but that they're elsewhere. And I also love this model because I hate meetings. I think meetings are the biggest poison to corporate productivity today. And when I went from being a full-time director of marketing to being a solopreneur, mini CMO, my productivity absolutely skyrocketed because there were weeks when I was in an office where you will have a dozen or more meetings sometimes, and that eats up all your week, right? Yeah. You spend hours in the meeting, you spend time preparing for the meeting, you spend time recapping notes and sending out action items and doing whatever. And there's this facade that, you're being so productive because you have so many meetings. You're not. Like you're spending so much of your time talking about what you're going to work on instead of working on what you need to work on. And it just eats up your time to really thrive, and it eats up in creative thinking time and planning time. And so
I think certain roles have a place for it though. Like if you have like 6 people working on a project and like you need to come together and be like, okay, here's what we've all accomplished.
Sure.
But I don't understand meetings that are just like our little updates and stuff. Like, don't care. Like, let me get back to what I'm doing.
Status calls. Do not get on my calendar.
No.
Don't call me to tell me what you're working on for the sake to tell me like where you're at in the project. Like, just email me if you need to tell me what you're doing.
We love an email.
But we love a quick email. And my kind of advice would be if you have an hour meeting scheduled that you want to schedule, think about, could you do it in 30 minutes? Could you really squeeze it in 30 minutes? And if you have a 30-minute meeting scheduled, could you do it in 15 minutes?
It's like
if you have a 15-minute,
it could have been an email.
It could have been an email. And if you're getting to the point where you have 15 and 30 minutes meetings all over your calendar, could those just be quick phone calls? Like when you're driving home or you're on a coffee break, do you need to get everyone to stop what they're doing and look at each other? And most of the time you don't need to. So I ultimately don't want to create an office environment where, we're taking people's time with structure for the sake of feeling like we're being very productive.
I think there's just a better way to do it. Like, we go get drinks after work and just, like, kind of banter.
Mm-hmm. Like, great relationship building, too.
Yeah. And you don't have to make it, like, meeting feeling. Like, you're all work people. You're just going to naturally talk about it. Mm-hmm. And then you get free labor out of it. Because everyone's just like, we're just getting drinks.
They're happy. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Mm-hmm.
So you kind of want to disrupt the corporate world.
Mm-hmm. Create a more productive environment where your marketers are worth a damn because they're actually working most of the time and they're not just caught up in the illusion of productivity instead of actually making stuff happen.
So it sounds like your main goal is not money.
No.
You're not a money-driven person. Obviously, it comes and like it's nice and it's fantastic, but you mainly want to build something.
Mm-hmm. The goal is money for my clients, right?
Yeah.
The goal is them being very successful and that I'm able to come in and pump them up and take them to the next level. And if you're not doing that, you will never make money yourself eventually,
Yeah, especially because you need to worry about your reputation. Because your reputation will get you more clients, and then you can kind of grow around that.
Mm-hmm. And my retainers that I have with my clients right now, they started off with a minimum of 6 months or something, but they're month to month. And I do that very intentionally because I want them to know that if they ever get to a point where I'm not providing the value that they feel like they're paying for, they can drop me in a second.
Yeah.
And my friends encourage me to not do that. They're like, you need stability, you need, guaranteed revenue. But for me, the guaranteed revenue is in what I'm bringing to the table and showing up with every day. So that's part of my business model is like, you can get out whenever you want, but you won't because I'm bringing the results.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to love me. So like, I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah, 100%.
So outside of your goal for the company, like what do you want to do long term? Like, is this like you're gonna do this forever?
I can't imagine going back to an office. I cannot picture it for myself. And it's been so sweet to bless and support small and medium-sized businesses, because restaurants can be so cutthroat. Their margins are slim. Mm-hmm. The hours are long.
Most of them don't even make it a year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And with rising labor costs and rising cost of goods, with all the tariffs, and there's just so much pressure on restaurants in a way there's never been before. And so being able to help them get to the next level and be a little bit more profitable this month, drive more revenue this month, it's so meaningful to me and gets me so excited that I'll always be in hospitality, I'll always be in restaurants, and I don't want to lose that hands-on experience of working with clients, being a solopreneur, because when you are maybe a CEO of a larger agency, you lose touch with the day-to-day.
Right.
And I love the day-to-day. I want to talk to my clients and see what's going on in their four walls. I'm in all of the manager group chats of what's going on in the stores. And I love that. I really want to have, my hand on, what's that term? Hand on a pulse? My finger on a pulse?
Yeah.
What's going on in the restaurant and how things are going. So yeah, I can see myself doing this.
Yeah, and you said something earlier about growing super fast, and I just feel like it's like a bad move, because this is the fun times anyways. Like the fun is the struggle. Maybe you're not making as much as you want, but you're figuring it out. You kind of get lost in all of that once you kind of get bigger and money's better, because I don't know, it's not as fun. The fun is the struggle time.
Yeah, grinding and growing and seeing the growth in yourself and in your clients every day.
And I feel like you see your growth way more in the beginning than when you're deep into it.
For sure. What's one way you're seeing yourself grow in the last handful of months?
Last handful of months, we just had a bad market the last 2 years. So going from we can't do business, no, we can't, but business was really hard to obtain, to now I'm the number one loan officer in our company out of 900 people. So that's been really cool. But the start of where I got into this, we were 3 guys in my living room with I think we might have had $5,000 between the 3 of us.
Okay.
And that was rent, food, everything. We did one $3,000 marketing campaign, and I was this is make or break. We borrowed money from my dad to do it.
Oh my gosh.
And that $3,000 made us 25 or 30 or something like that, and that was the difference of us falling flat on our face and growing into what we are now. We've kind of separated from the business, and we all kind of do our own little things now. But that moment of it's all or nothing was probably my favorite thing I've ever done in my career here, and that was 9 years ago, whatever.
Wow, that's awesome. You really went all in.
Yeah, well, we didn't have a choice. We quit our jobs from the same mortgage company, and we were we're going to do this on our own.
Okay.
And we ended up getting an office. We started hiring people. Our operation started to grow. And then right when we were we're cruising, things are getting really good, market shifted, and we lost everything in literally 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
And that was that. So we waited 2 years to kind of ramp things back up, and we're kind of right now getting into a market where things are getting better.
Okay.
But
you've learned a ton of resiliency then.
Yeah. The ebbs and flows they're fun. But you can't just look at the money coming in it's gonna last forever, because it goes quickly. There's gonna be months that are bad, there's gonna be months that are really good. You might have a client drop out, and you have to have enough money in your savings to maintain that level. It's a fun time. Being a business owner is interesting.
Yeah.
But so what would you say to someone who wanted to follow in your footsteps or get out of their comfort zone and start something of their own to build something that's going to change their life forever?
That's a great question.
That's what you're doing. You're setting up a life that you wouldn't have had in a corporate job.
Sure. I would encourage you to take the leap. If you have that feeling in your gut and that question of can I do this? Should I do this? And you're feeling that pull, you should just do it, because you have something special that other people don't have. That curiosity and that willingness to work hard that maybe most people don't have. And I would encourage you, especially if you're on your own or you're a solopreneur, to keep a strong, vibrant network of people around you to consult and check in with, to get advice as you go on your journey. Because you can unintentionally self-isolate by being on your own, just grinding it out on your computer or whatever you're doing. And your value very much comes from how you can collaborate and learn from other people. And so I have some great, previous leaders that I consult regularly. I bug them, I give them phone calls, I send them press releases and say, will you read this and tell me if it's any good, and run plans by other people. So keep your arsenal of support close to you and active, that you're investing in them, and make time for self-education to continue growing and not staying stagnant. And that might look like, for me, that looks like going to conferences, industry conferences regularly to learn. And, I set aside time to study AI on my own. I haven't done it very much, but you just set aside time to learn and grow on your own to make sure there's no stagnation and there's no isolation in your journey.
Well, if you think you know everything, like you've lost the game.
Yeah.
Because there's always some more to know. There's always someone smarter than you. I always feel like you should not be the smartest person in the room or the most successful or anything, because that's where your income dies. Like if you were the top producer, you will be stagnant there and happy because you're better than everyone else.
Sure.
You need to be pushed by your peers and be like, I want to be like you, and even if you're fighting back and forth, you need it.
I also just finished up, I was a mentee it's called Gleam, and it's a mentorship program for people in the food service industry of all emerging leaders to executives. And so I was a mentee for a while, and I got mentored by a CEO that has her own agency, like me in 20 years or whatever. And so I'd encourage people to do that, have built-in mentors that you can check in with regularly. So
everyone always brings up this mentor thing, and I feel like it's a lot easier said than done. Because either you knew this person or you're paying for this person, and usually people can't afford it when they're starting out a business or something like that. But I've had 6 guests be like, just go pay for it. It'll pay for itself. I'm like, some people don't have money.
Sure.
They just can't afford it.
Sure.
How do you go find a mentor?
That's a great question. For me, I researched industry-specific mentors. So like I said, Gleam for food service and hospitality professionals was the place for me. And I'm actually now a volunteer project coordinator for them. And we're launching a women in restaurant leadership collaboration with Gleam in the spring of next year. So there's places being made for you. You just have to go find them. And I would not recommend just looking on TikTok and finding someone who says they're a life coach and they're just talking a big game. You should do a little bit of research on if there are already, industry specific programs that will support people like you. Maybe you go look at your university's alumni office or career center that probably has a lot of that. I know I went to SMU and they were sourcing mentors and mentees for their corporate communications program. So just do a little bit of digging. Don't just pick up the first person you find. Yeah. And if there's someone that you've worked with that really inspired you, that was a great leader, maybe start by asking them to coffee and just seeing if they'd be interested in it. I mean, wouldn't you be flattered if someone came to you and they were like, Austin, I'd really like to be mentored by you. Would you take an hour a month to mentor me? You'd be like, absolutely. Heck yeah. I'd love to give what I've learned. So I'm finding that the people that I ask for help and mentorship are more than eager to give it, because everyone has something to give and wisdom to impart.
It just boosts your ego a little bit.
Sure,
you're
right?
Like, oh, I'm someone.
It felt good. Even when I was hypothetically asking you, it probably felt, you're like, ooh,
I'm not just some low-level guy. So how can people support you and grow your brand and support even your clients maybe? Sure.
It's so funny. I spend such little time marketing myself because I'm so focused on marketing my clients. I do have an Instagram at JK Marketing Strategy. That would be a great place to follow along and check out my journey, or add me on LinkedIn. Perfect. I have a funky last name, so it might be hard to find.
It is a funky one. Kruebbe. Yeah. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Your story's great. I can't wait to see how you grow in your business ventures, and maybe we'll do a follow-up in a year when you tripled in size, because you've already done all this in 1 year.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for having me, Austin.
Of course. To everyone who made it to the end, I appreciate you and all the support you've given so far. Stay tuned for weekly episodes, and if you know anyone who might be a good candidate for the show, please drop it in the comments below or shoot me a DM.